Chefs, what's the beef? Cam here. If you can see into the dark holes that are my eyes, absolute scorcher here in Melbourne. So what I'm here to do in this video is I'm here to really talk to you about a problem that you're probably feeling in your head, something that you're saying to yourself, and I'm going to show you how you can make your way out of that mindset. And the problem that you have right now, Chef, is that through the month of December, you're starting to question your career choice. You're starting to question whether you really want to do this anymore. You're questioning whether, it's actually worth the fucking hours, it's worth the pain, it's worth everything you're putting yourself through. And this is a very, very common feeling that you'll probably get every single year that Christmas rolls around. Look at the spike on the side of the hair, fucking disgraceful stuff. You get this feeling every single time December comes around, and it's the same thing every time. It's you're in the trenches for the month, everything is at an all-time high, stress at an all-time high, more covers, more fucking pressure, more things on your plate, and then as a result of all of that, there's less time for you, and you stop becoming the priority like you used to be maybe. So as I said, your free time in the morning is taken up because you have to get in and prep. So as a result, then you lose any kind of routine. You lose the time that you might spend with your family, taking your kids to school, small things like that. As you get home at night, then you're home later than you normally would be. You're trying to get prepped and get the orders done for the next day. So all of a sudden, then you're in the absolute depths of shit when you come home and you don't actually see your family anymore. On top of all this, you're absolutely exhausted and your habits are going to fucking... I was going to say hell in a ham basket, but I don't know what a basket of ham even looks like, to be honest, pal. That doesn't even make sense. But the body starts to go as a result of the vices creeping back in, as a result of, the picking or whatever food that you're consuming is usually convenient and shite. And that's just because there isn't the time and there isn't the headspace and everything is go, go, go. As a result of all of this, Chef, you're 2 or 3 weeks into this and you'll probably do another week of it this week and maybe you'll do another week after that. And you're really questioning whether you're cut out for this. You're really questioning whether this is what you want to be doing. You're really questioning whether come January you're going to find a new industry and find a new job and fucking find something easier. And I understand and I get that, because that's really, most people don't understand what it's like going through what you're going through. I remember any Christmas service I went through that it was just every day, non-stop, all day, and there was no let up on it until it was fucking Christmas Day. For all of you, you got to understand that that feeling of wanting to give up and wanting to change is stemming from a feeling that you have deep down inside, and feelings are fleeting. They come and go. They go like the weather, It could be sunny one day, it could be rainy the next day, but you got to understand in your own mind that how you feel right now can change literally like that. It can change like that, and for so many of you, it's in your head, it's like, this isn't right for me anymore, this is a lot of bollocks, I'm not doing this. What I would say is that what you are experiencing now is burnout. And burnout is a feeling that can be changed. As hard as that might be to hear and as hard as that might be to understand, burnout is a thing that can be changed. And this month, chefs are treated so unfairly, and chefs are treated in such a way where you're expected to operate like a fucking slave. And as a result of operating like a slave, your body goes and your head goes, as I just explained at the start of the video. But if you get to a point through all of that where you want to give up and you want to stop, what I would say to you is that you need to look at the fact that it's a feeling that you have. When you get to January, things will get better. But does that fix the problem? Or is this just going to happen every single time it comes around? And the reality is, if we don't change something, it is going to happen the same time around. So what I always recommend to chefs is that you have structure. So the big part of what we do in Chef Fit is structure. Like, that's step 2 of what we do with any chef. You get clear on your fucking problems, you get clear on your goals, and after that you move forward and we look at your structure. So for so many chefs, there's an all or nothing attitude that if Christmas is just taking everything away from you, and I get it, you have far less time, far less headspace, and far less fucking energy for these things. But if you have structure for the days that you do have time, and then when you're thrown into the shit and work, everything goes out the window, that's an all or nothing mentality. An all or nothing mentality will fuck you up, because it's not how good you are, it's how long you're good for. So what I recommend and what I coach people to do is that you need to get to a point where your structure, when you have more time, and let's say it's fucking January, February and the place is dead, cool, now we can do those things that require more time. When you're hitting December and you're hitting summer months where you're in the absolute fucking pits of despair, you still have to have structure, but you're not doing as much. It's like water in a garden. It's like you can water the garden for fucking 2 hours, you can water the garden for 15 minutes, but you're still watering the garden. And the problem is right now is that because you're thrown into the shit, you just stop watering it completely, and that's where your headspace goes. The second you stop putting yourself first in any way, shape, or form is where your headspace goes to shit. Because that's when the resentment kicks in, that's when the anger kicks in, that's when you're feeling physically terrible, and then mentally you're starting to feel depressed. That's where that stems from. So what I would say is a future reference is that if you know you're going to be in the shit, and you know it's going to be a month where you're going to be in hell, and you're going to have to fucking dig deep, and you're going to have to push, then what I would say is that it's important that you do something tiny or minuscule on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about a gym session. I'm talking about if you had 10 to 15 minutes in the morning before you went to work, that you could do something to make yourself feel better. For the Chef's Eye coach, it's like, cool, maybe we're not going to the gym for an hour and a half, but maybe you could fucking sit down and do a meditation for 5 minutes using that app Headspace. Maybe we could bang out 5 minutes of these stretches, and then maybe you could go and jump in a shower and have a cold shower so it refreshes you up. And then when you walk into work, at least you've done something small, so that when you walk into the shit show, when you put your whites on, you walk out in the kitchen and you see that someone hasn't cleaned up from last night properly, or someone hasn't done the orders and the whole place is a fucking mess, that your headspace isn't that badly affected by it because you put yourself first in some degree. That all stems back to structure. So again, with the Chef's Eye coach, routine is vital, but when you have less time, you still need to have something done, but it could be 10 or 15 minutes instead of 2 hours. For a lot of you, that's what I recommend. It's like, you got to look after yourself. Do something, one thing a day to look after yourself. That's how you're going to manage your fucking headspace here, and that's how you're going to stop yourself going into that void of, I can't fucking do this anymore. Because when you get to that stage, you're throwing away the thing that you're truly passionate about. And I get why you would like to do that. I understand. But you started this for a reason. You love this. You love cooking. You love doing these things. But at the end of the day, throwing it all away and fucking going to find something else, it's just, I don't want to see that happen. I'm sick of seeing attrition rates in this fucking industry from what it does to people. So again, chef, try and put yourself first to some degree for 10 and 15 minutes a day for the next week, and think about trying to do it before work. And then when you get home from work, the other thing, part of a routine, is if you can fucking do something, as I said, that 5 minute meditation, you might think that's bollocks, that will fucking change your life if you do that consistently. Do that, have a cup of tea, chamomile tea, something along those lines, instead of the fucking vice where you're going to smoke a joint and then you're having 2 or 3 cans to wind down, because that just perpetuates the problem as opposed to helping you deal with it. As hard as it is to do, it is the truth. So chefs, what I want you to do is just let me know in the comments, what has this month been like for you? Where are you at right now? You know, maybe you haven't said it to someone, maybe you haven't talked about it. Where are you at right now? Like, leave a comment and let me know, what has December done to you, and are you questioning where you're at in your career? Are you questioning whether you want to stay at this fucking job? And don't be afraid to share it. Anything in this group is obviously between us, you know, and all of us have been through the same shit, so don't feel like there's anything that you can't say. And there's dickheads who fucking want to make a judgment, they get removed immediately. So remember that. There's no judgment from me, there's no judgment from anyone in here. And yeah, open up and be honest. Chefs, I appreciate you watching the video. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll chat to you in the next one.